There he is. Rodolfo.
We arrived just for the start, though. Unfortunately, we just went live. So we'll have to deal with that. Here we go. The Bitcoin Group, the American original. For over the last 10 seconds, the sharpest Satoshis, the best Bitcoins, the hardest cryptocurrency talk. We'd like to welcome our panelists, Josh Gagala from Vaultoro.
How are you, ladies and gentlemen? It's great to be here.
Rodolfo from LA BitConf.
How are you all?
Law BitConf.
Nice to be here.
Welcome to Rodolfo. And I'm Thomas Hunt from the World Crypto Network. Moving on to issue one. Issue one, Coinbase, tokenized. The New York Times has written a major article about the struggles inside Coinbase. According to the article, Black workers are having trouble at Coinbase. They believe they're being discriminated against. Managers are speaking out against them generally as a group. This combined with Coinbase's recent announcement that they would become a non-political company. Unfortunately for Coinbase, they decided to become a non-political company in the middle of a major protest against racial injustice. These two issues have come together for issue one, Coinbase, Black Coinbase, racial struggles at Coinbase. Josh Gagala, your thoughts on Coinbase's recent struggles?
Man, it's such a tricky situation. Really, at the end of the day, we should all be aiming for the best people for the job, whatever color, race, sex, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then at the same time, you have this problem where there's a lot of there's people that need to be more represented. So, for instance, if you have no women in your company, then you definitely make a certain type of culture, and it becomes harder to employ women later when all your company is just full of men. So it's the whole diversification thing is very, very hard as a CEO and as someone that's employing people in terms of trying to get it right. I always like to just employ the best person for the job, of course, and that's sometimes you do need to consider, hey, as we grow, we do need to try and diversify, just because you get different ideas from different cultures and how you grow up. And culturally, it's important to have other ideas in your company, I feel. But at the same time, I think that comes, for me, under having the best person for the job to make a great company. It's such a tricky thing to go on about, because you can't get it right. It's sad that we live in a world that color is still a thing, or sex is still a thing. You know, really, it shows how primitive mankind still is, because it's ridiculous. It's about the person, and it's typical of this sort. And that's actually one of the funny things is that, or the interesting things is, Bitcoin is all very seated in libertarianism from the get-go, and libertarianism is really about your own not thinking in a groupthink mechanism, not thinking, that group is like this or this group is like that. It's like, take everyone on their own merit, and that's important. I guess it's just a human thing of being suspect of someone that's different, and I guess as humans evolve slowly, maybe they lose that, hopefully. I don't know.
Now, I don't want to say that I predicted this, but when Coinbase came out with their major announcement about how they were becoming non-political in the middle of these currently incredibly political times, I just didn't think it was going to end well. I didn't know anything about these protests or allegations inside of the company, but the general idea that they didn't want to talk about the racial protests in the street, the politics of the presidency and so forth, especially at such a key time in American politics, and especially coming out of San Francisco, coming out of the tech scene. So many workers there are also political workers, are also political people. They just see the two things together. And for Coinbase to take that stance and to pay off so many employees to leave the company, and at the same time, as the article said, they were taking a little bit of credit for the people that stayed, but as the people who stayed said, if you have a low-level tech support position in the middle of the pandemic, you're not quitting it for any reason. If I had a job now, and certainly I probably wish I had a job, I wouldn't quit for any reason. It's a scary environment out there for getting new jobs, and politics and other things maybe you could be quiet about. But we'll have to see how this story develops with Coinbase and the New York Times. Obviously, it's a major issue. Rodolfo, your thoughts about Coinbase and the racial struggles?
Actually, first about being political. I think that if you are in the Bitcoin space, you cannot be unpolitical. Yes, you are doing politics. You are saying how you want things to be. You're saying we want to change the way the status quo. Yes, this is politics. If you don't understand that you're here for and doing politics, I think you're watching a different game. And that being said, I think that Coinbase has always been like non-so 100% Bitcoiner spirit itself. Yes, it's like more like business style, non-Bitcoin lover, but like in general, no? So perhaps that's why they can do this kind of stance, because that's it. But as I think similar to Josh, by far, and it happens to me, I am CEO of other projects, but for example, in the conference itself, I'm always being demanded or asked, and I appreciate being asked by women, no? Why do you have so many speakers in the lineup and stuff like that? And actually, it's two things. First, I'm not actively thinking about being adding or not one or the other. I just think about the topic, about who is leading such a topic, and that's it. Yes. Unfortunately, many of them are men more than women. Yes. But I think there needs to be an active attitude about also finding the ones that could eventually fit, but you don't know because you're not near, you're not next to them. So I think it's something that always keeping the best one possible, but also it has to do with an attitude, an active attitude about trying to find among more open options.
Yeah.
I agree with Rodolfo a lot about the idea of Bitcoin and politics, and that it is a very political field. And that's why I was so surprised about Coinbase's idea that they could be developing this incredible new money that overturns so many central banks and so many traditions and so many things, and not have a political feeling about it. A lot of the early Bitcoin companies had a revolutionary feeling about them, where they really thought they were developing new commerce and they were helping people. And that was part of why they were doing it, not just for the money. Also on the side note, certainly Coinbase and other companies in Silicon Valley have struggled trying to bring in Black employees, minority employees, women, other things like this. It's an ongoing struggle. So it's not surprising to see them have this struggle. It was just so surprising to see them say that they were becoming non-political in the middle of such political times. Josh, do you have more to add on this issue?
No, I mean, it's always going to be an issue. It's just, it goes on and on, you know. It's really trying to have a great company that's just got great people and not focusing on whether they're gay, female, Black, Latino, Asian, whatever, white. Let's just focus on the great people. But I do understand as well that if you've just got white guys because they're the best people for the job, it kind of, the culture becomes very, you know, so you just want to try to diversify that and have a great culture and a happy place to work for everybody. That's the goal. And you know, yeah.
Yes, I don't think this is going to be the end of this issue either for Coinbase or for Silicon Valley or other tech companies. We're going to keep talking about variations of this in the future. Moving on to the exit question. Yes or no, will Coinbase be able to keep their "we're not political" stance? Josh Gagala.
Maybe externally, but internally politics always wriggles itself in there somehow.
Rodolfo.
I don't feel Coinbase Bitcoiners. I don't feel them. They're businessmen. I really don't care much. I don't. I think they will, because whatever politics they do is not Bitcoin politics. It's business politics, and I don't care about those.
I think that's well said. They're probably not going to be coming back towards Bitcoin or towards cypherpunk type philosophies soon. But yeah, publicly, I think they're going to have to lose this one. I don't know about Brian as CEO going forward. He's built a pretty amazing company. And a lot of times in these Silicon Valley stories, they hand it off to another CEO. But then again, Zuckerberg broke through that one. And we've seen a lot of different things since then. Moving on to issue 2, which is also about Coinbase. Issue 2, Brian Armstrong, the Coinbase CEO, issued a major tweet towards the top of the Bitcoin market, saying that the Trump administration may rush out burdensome regulations against hosted crypto wallets. Hosted crypto wallets would include CoinDesk and presumably any non-decentralized Bitcoin exchange where you would have a hosted wallet. There have been a lot of these strange last-minute Trump administration rules, even large international actions, troop movements, maybe a new war, all kinds of stuff going on in these, hopefully the last days of the Trump administration. But Brian's tweet may have struck a different tone in the market as the Bitcoin price crashed from 19,000 to 16,000 shortly after, or it was just a normal correction. Rodolfo, what do you think? Is Brian right? Is the Trump administration going to roll out these rules? Is it going to make Bitcoin crash more? What do you think about issue 2?
Sorry, I'm like, I don't care about Bitcoin crashing a bit more. It's natural. It's what happens. The reasons why might be this eventually, yes, but also me being from Latin America, I think we're adding too much value to what happens in one specific spot, yes, of the world. And sorry about this kind of appreciation. It's not common, I guess, but actually they might be doing it. I think they might rush with something like this. It might have an impact, but it will have a short-term impact because I think that we are starting a long-term run. So yeah, just another stone in the road.
Yeah,
I think it's good to have an international perspective here as well. Sometimes we are too U.S. focused. Josh Gagala, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm here in Berlin, and really, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what these politicians are going to politic. That's what they do. They try to pass laws and control your life. They think they know how to run your life better than you do, and they try to squeeze you into positions that hurt. So it's just what they do, and it doesn't matter. Bitcoin doesn't care. It's just going to get back up. It's the fainting goat of money, or the honey badger. It doesn't care. It doesn't give a hoot. So really, if they pass some law, yeah, it might have some effect here and there. But at the end of the day, there will be a technological workaround for pretty much anything that they throw at us, or people will just not bother caring.
I'd just like to ask everyone to give us a thumbs up and a share. We're supposed to do that every once in a while, and we forgot. We're up to around 30 viewers, which is pretty good because I forgot to tweet about this too. So I don't know how you found the show. Maybe it's because you gave it a thumbs up and a share. So my thoughts on this, I also wanted to mention is that the Poloniex exchange went down while Bitcoin was trying to get a new all-time high. And there's reports from Cointelegraph that Bitcoin whales are depositing large amounts of Bitcoin on exchanges, presumably to sell, whether short-term or long-term. This could also affect the price of Bitcoin. And we forgot to say everyone's favorite culprit, profit-taking. Bitcoin went up like 40%. These people are traders. They want to trade. So when something goes up, they sell it, they make the profit. It goes down, maybe they buy back in. Maybe it goes back up, they make more profit. Who knows? I don't think it controls the price of Bitcoin, but it was especially unfortunate to see Brian Armstrong. This happened before the racial article was released, but to see him tweeting about this and causing this kind of FUD in the market. He didn't name his sources. We don't know who in the Trump administration is doing this. We don't know anything about it. We just know there was a tweet, but it seems unlikely it affected the whole market. But what about CEOs tweeting? Exit question. Should CEOs of large companies like Elon Musk or Brian Armstrong be tweeting, especially about their own markets and their own products, tweets that could perhaps affect the market? Josh Gagala.
Yeah, sure. I mean, what the hell? People have to stop being protected by laws and government from risk. They need to learn what risk is. They need to learn that that CEOs are out there to pump their company, and it's just part of the data points that people collect. What the hell? All these laws and rules about what people can and can't do. Learn the hell. Like everyone, learn that there are ways to lose your money, and don't and do your proper due diligence on them.
Rodolfo.
Yeah, 100% with Josh. I mean, come on. I'm glad of what I'm doing. I want to share it. Why not? Yes, they can tweet whatever they want about their company. They can even say a lie if they want. Yes, they can do whatever, and they will pay the consequences of whatever they do, if it's a lie or not. But you need to build the truth. Not the truth is given by someone else. You need to do your own due diligence, as Josh says. So. Yes, for me, yes, they need, and as Josh says, no one needs to protect you of that. It's just life like it is, and like it should be, actually.
Well, just to play devil's advocate here, when a CEO like Elon Musk goes out and tweets that he's going to buy the whole company and take it private at 420, or Brian Armstrong tweets that he's got secret information that the Bitcoin market might crash soon, I don't think it's good for anybody. I think there should be a little bit of restraint. When you're the CEO, you represent the company. You should try to represent it positively. Certainly Elon Musk drinking whiskey, smoking weed on Joe Rogan's show was fun to watch, but I don't think it was fun for shareholders of Tesla or serious people on Wall Street. And while we might
did they leave?
Huh?
I mean, did they leave Tesla, or they decided to stay? Actually, your answer is what you do based on that. Yes. So you're a stakeholder. You don't like Tesla smoking and weed. Are you leaving Tesla, or are you staying in Tesla? How much you don't like it? Yes. How much?
Well, and if they had left Tesla, they would have taken horrible losses, because the Tesla stock has really gone nothing but up since then. Even historically, it's gone nothing but up. I mean, Tesla's been an amazing stock. I didn't have it at the beginning, but even joining at the end, there was profit for everyone. I think it was lovely. But yeah, I don't know about this, but there's kind of a traditional CEO. There's this idea of it. And so many times when someone goes off the course, like certainly for younger viewers, Elon brought them in by drinking and smoking. For older viewers, he might have freaked them out. It's a question of who has more money, depending on your market, what you sell, how serious it is. We've seen people fired for much less, all kinds of other things. So, but I think it's an interesting topic, and one that we'll probably come back to again later. Moving on to issue 3, PayPal. PayPal allegedly has bought 70% of all newly mined Bitcoin last month as demand rockets. PayPal is selling a lot of Bitcoin on their service, and if they do that, they need to buy a lot of Bitcoin. So it's very interesting for the price and for Bitcoin. Remember, PayPal currently doesn't let you withdraw or deposit Bitcoin. They're just technically holding the Bitcoin. We hope they have them all. No one knows. But that's also how Cash App started and other services. It's good to roll things out in parts. You can't just do it all at once. Also, we heard that PayPal suspended a user for crypto trading using PayPal's own service. The user's funds are on a 180-day hold. It's just hilarious to see this happen again after PayPal froze so many users' accounts on eBay. Now they get into Bitcoin, supposedly the unfreezable currency. And if you use it through PayPal, it could easily be frozen. Rodolfo, your thoughts on PayPal selling out and shutting accounts down again?
not surprised. They've been doing it since long. Yes, in Argentina you can't use PayPal, or you was banned from using PayPal. If you had money there, you couldn't use it, and you couldn't. It's just, I mean, that's what they do. Why should we expect something different? Because they are giving you these bitcoins, this Bitcoin representation on your wallet. I mean, they didn't change their politics about how you can or you cannot use the wallet. They said you could turn some of your dollars, of your PayPalized dollars, yes, into PayPalized bitcoins, yes. So I wouldn't. It was not a surprise when I read that, yes. And again, I think it's like you expected something that you shouldn't have expected. Josh
Gagala, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, we had Douala, and they froze all these people's accounts, and we were moving stuff from Mt. Gox. It's always these money transmitters that you use and very quickly Bitcoin has learned, don't use PayPal, because people reverse the trade. You've sold them an irreversible thing, and now they've reversed the money, so they've got both the Bitcoin and the money. And every time some startup's like, we accept PayPal for the Bitcoin, you think, yeah, how long is this going to take? You're looking at your watch and they're gone, because that business model doesn't last long. One thing I am worried about PayPal is that if they cannot get enough Bitcoin, they decide internally, we don't need to buy it straight away. If they start going to fractional reserve, like if they don't truly show that they have the Bitcoin, they could seriously bankrupt their own company if we have one of these crazy moon events and they don't have enough Bitcoin, and then afterwards they need to dig into their own pockets to make up for it. Or they never actually make Bitcoin. They, like Rodolfo said, it's just PayPalized, in which case they can make as many Bitcoin as they want. So I don't know. Are they buying 70% of all newly mined Bitcoins? It's pretty hard. Maybe they've gone into China and gone to some of these Chinese miners. I'm not sure. I mean, stuff is diversifying out of China a little bit, but yeah, there's a lot of things. It's kind of good news in terms of a greed perspective, like, ooh, PayPal, a massive network effect. Instantly, a lot of people can have easy access to Bitcoin, but we're at a stage now where people can have quite easy access to Bitcoin anyway, even if it isn't with PayPal. But I think it's the normies that that really don't have a clue, and they're like, oh, what's this new button? Bitcoin, I've heard of that. Yeah, I'll buy $10 when I've sold my gadget on eBay. I'll convert it to Bitcoin. But yeah, we'll see what happens with PayPal. Pretty well.
Live streaming is on.
And we're back for hour 2 on Jitsi. What were we even talking about? PayPal. Exit question. Yes or no, is PayPal a good thing for Bitcoin? Rodolfo.
Yes, it is a good thing. It brings awareness. It brings new users. People will lose money eventually, their stake. But yes, it's good. Bitcoin has no company behind, so it needs these kind of things. It needs these things that raise awareness on Bitcoin, and not because of us gaining money, but because of people getting the chance of knowing about Bitcoin and getting a small slice of it, understanding and keeping it. So it's not about going to 20 or 40 or 100. I'm happy for that, but actually it's good for Bitcoin because at least 5, 10, 20, 35 new people, yes, will join this revolution.
Josh Kagala.
Yeah, I mean, PayPal, it's good. It's good, definitely. I mean, people shouldn't use it because they're not getting real Bitcoin. They should go and buy real Bitcoin. They should use local Bitcoins. They should earn Bitcoin. Don't buy it, just earn it. Do something that you're skilled in, and ask to be paid in Bitcoin. Even better, ask to be paid through a Lightning invoice. It's pretty sweet.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I agree. PayPal's good for Bitcoin, probably in the short term. In the long term, like Rodolfo and Josh were saying, it's better to get real Bitcoin, move them to a hardware wallet, own the keys yourself, things like that, which maybe eventually PayPal will do. But right now they've shown everyone right, and they're freezing wallets. And we're right back where we started from years ago when PayPal was freezing accounts. And I think it was the EFF or maybe WikiLeaks who were going to switch from PayPal and credit cards to Bitcoin. And that was one of the major events that kicked off Bitcoin. So it's funny to see PayPal back here again. Moving on. Have you seen the new shop.worldcryptonetwork.com? It's pretty much the same, but we've got World Crypto Network, the mug, Treasures Don't Float, the t-shirt, Bitcoin Not Bombs 2020 Halving Edition, and World Crypto Network, the t-shirt. Check them out at shop.worldcryptonetwork.com. New issue. Bitcoin's Carnivore cult is both stupid and correct. A new article from Leah Kwan says that, according to her, she has become a follower of the meat-eating carnivore cult. At first, Safedine forced steak tartare onto her plate, but by the end, she'd agreed to try the diet, and after only 3 weeks, has become a convert and even almost goes so far as to recommend it. However, several voices in the article, like Elizabeth Stark and others, say that Bitcoin doesn't need an official meal or an official meal plan, and that Bitcoin can be enjoyed by anyone, no matter what you eat. Josh Gagala, your thoughts on Bitcoin's crazy carnivore cult?
Man, Bitcoin doesn't kill animals. Bitcoin doesn't eat animals. Bitcoin maybe buys a steak, or you maybe you sell a cow for Bitcoin. But this ridiculous diet, I mean, it's just so weird. It's so just eat what you want to eat. If you want to eat only meat, good on you. Great. If you only want to be a vegetarian, fantastic. It's even better. You're not killing anyone. And if you're going to eat, a lot of carnivores, what I don't hear them talking about is, animal cruelty and farmed animals, the cruelty in mass production of farming. So, I mean, if they go out and they source great meat and good quality, that the chickens have been out in the wild running, then it's good. But whatever, I don't know. Just this whole weird, like, if you're a Bitcoin, you're like meat only. What the hell? I don't know. It's so strange.
Yeah, I generally agree with Josh. I don't think that Bitcoin should be restricted to any one diet or even any one political opinion. There are lots of room for other views inside of Bitcoin. And again, Bitcoin doesn't care. I think this kind of stuff makes us look bad. It helps people write articles that put Bitcoiners into a category as weirdos. They eat the same diet. They think the same thoughts. They're a monoculture. They're all the same. So I don't like that. I also don't like the way that vegetarians seem to be excluded from this. And it also has a little bit of the tinge of the programmer culture, which again goes back to the Coinbase story and goes back to the whole Silicon Valley culture issue. Rodolfo, your thoughts about Bitcoin and meat?
Actually, two small thoughts. First, I'm sure there are lots of shitcoiners of Bitcoin eaters that feel they are Bitcoin, but they hold shitcoins. So am I more Bitcoiner if I do meat meal, but I hold shitcoins, than if I don't do meat, but I'm 100% Bitcoin maximalist? It's like, how do we measure how much Bitcoiner you are? If you have this, so this is what, like, I wouldn't care less. But the other thing, it's someone, when I was discussing I lead the Argentinian NGO, no? And I always talk about the community and the Bitcoin community and the concept of the Bitcoiners. And some days ago, someone said that when you talk about the community, you're still thinking that the Bitcoin community is the guys that follow you, are the guys that go into the Bitcoin Center, are the guys that go to your conference, or it's also my grandmother or my wife's mother that holds 4 BTCs, yes, or is my sister, or is this other guy that bought BTC from me and that he cares absolutely nothing about this Bitcoin culture, but they are the community. And perhaps, and the ones who we are aiming to, it's all of them. It's us as Bitcoiners. Stop thinking that we are the community. The community is not us. It's all the rest. I mean, it's not Bitcoin for just a small, shitty group of people, wealthy group of people. Actually, I just wrote an article that I didn't remember, but I made this thing like, will Bitcoin be only for a elite group of wealthy people, or will it be for absolutely everyone? No. So will be able Bitcoin to become for everyone? And this is, I thought it was one of the topics in the conference. Now I remember when I wrote it. but this is the thing. I mean, which is the Bitcoin? Who is Bitcoiner? Me, because I'm a maximalist, or my sister that holds some. Who is Bitcoiner?
Yeah.
I think Rodolfo makes an excellent point here that, you can't tell who is a Bitcoiner. Is it just the people buying it, the people building it, the people going to meetups, the people having, Carnivore Club meetups, all these kind of things. It's different kind of people. And out of all of that, we get Bitcoin. So the exit question is, if an altcoin tries to go down the same route and copy, but slightly change Bitcoin meat eating, what altcoin will do it? And what will the altcoin focus on eating? I'll go ahead and start. I think that Dogecoin will start out with a Cheeto-focused diet, eating nothing but Cheetos so that their hands become yellow and orange like their hero, the Doge, and that they'll have as much seriousness about their Cheeto cult as we currently seen from the Carnivore cult. Josh Kagala, what altcoin and what kind of food would they eat?
I think XRP is going to eat durian because it smells like farts and it's really spiky, and that's
And it doesn't even look like food. It's like a currency that doesn't look like a currency. It's all there. Rodolfo, what would the altcoiners eat?
Oh, I guess that some Bitcoin Cash or those will get much more fat in their meat. And they wouldn't care.
That would be great. Bitcoin cashers eat bad steaks with more fat and worse meats. Yeah, that's great stuff. That's good because I just asked you guys impromptu like that. I didn't know if you'd be ready or not. But here we are moving on to almost the last issue. Chinese police have seized 4.5 billion in cryptos from the PlusToken Ponzi crackdown. A quick breakdown of what they seized: 194,000 Bitcoin. That's around 1% of the circulating supply. 833,000 Ethereum. $1.4 million Litecoin. 1.4 million Litecoins. 27.6 million EOS. 74,000 Dash. 487 million Ripples, or XRPs as they're called. 6 billion Doge, 79,000 Bitch, and 213,000 in Tethers. Of course, everyone knows about the PlusToken Ponzi scheme because whether you participated in it or not, their large Bitcoin takings, allegedly their sells, were pushing down the market price of Bitcoin. Presumably that's over, but now the currency has been transferred to the Chinese. What will the Chinese do? Will they try to make the price of their Bitcoin go up and then sell them in the short term? Will they hold them in the long term? Will they make Bitcoin the new national currency of China? Rodolfo, what will China do?
I don't know. I know what I would do if I was Chinese. I think that since I'm in this since 2011, yes, and being active, promoting and defending Bitcoin and building NGOs in 2013. And since then, I've been trying to convince, I've done all the awareness I've done to make people convinced that they should hold Bitcoins. Yes, and when I mean people, I mean everyone, and it includes governments. Yes, I do think they should hold Bitcoins. I expected Argentina to hold Bitcoins even from the beginning. It's crazy to think that they would ever do it. It's like, no, yeah. But if you ask me, it's a good advice to do it. Now, the thing is, why is this? Because Bitcoin is power. Yes, actually, money is power. Power because it makes people do something for the money. So it's power. It's not something that you hold, but it's something that makes others to do something for you. So I think that holding Bitcoins, it's power now, more power even later. I see China like a power absorber, yes, or in their mind. And I guess they might also understand that Bitcoin or money is power, and they may play the game. I don't know.
Josh Gagala, another Chinese crackdown coming soon?
Look, I mean, I don't know how, because they could have just really, when they say seized, have they got the private keys? Can they send this stuff, or have they just seized a laptop that's encrypted? I mean, it's a lot of money. The article states that it will be forfeited to the national treasury. I mean, if they're smarter than the Americans, they will hold it. The Americans are selling theirs, so this is what governments do. They steal, and they keep. They stole from the Silk Road, and they kept it, and now they're stealing from these guys. And these guys are obviously total idiots for making this ridiculous Ponzi scheme. But these idiots that invested in this ridiculous Ponzi scheme are also idiots. So everyone's an idiot, basically. That's my God, so many idiots. I don't know what they'll do. Probably keep it.
We're surrounded by idiots. Well, I'm going to give the Chinese government the same free advice that I gave the American government, both this time with the new $1 billion in Silk Road coins that they've seized, and last time when they had tons and tons of Bitcoin from the Silk Road that they later sold to Tim Draper. And that's that the Chinese should adopt my idea of putting a Smithsonian museum in every state in the United States, but maybe they should do it in China and put the Chinese version in each province and have a really nice museum for their people. Whether they do that or not, I agree with everyone that the Chinese are going to sell this Bitcoin. They're going to sell all those crazy altcoins. They're not going to hold this kind of liability on their books for long. But that does give us a new questionable friendly ally in the future who has reason for Bitcoin to go up, or amazing reason for these crazy altcoins to go up or down or up, depending on what they want to do. And we'll just have to see. But yes, I don't think the governments are going to be smart. They're not going to keep it and build new things for their people. But it is interesting, and it's great that we're done with the PlusToken Ponzi scheme. Too many times they said, why is the market down? And they said, well, these guys from PlusToken just sold another 10 million or something. I'm like, how much did they take? How many suckers bought into these Ponzi scheme? But
I never even heard of PlusToken. Like, this is how
again they're not targeting us. They're certainly not going out for, technically savvy Bitcoiners to get into their scam. But apparently whatever they did was crazy successful. Maybe just in Asia, or maybe focused in Asia, hence the China crackdown and their ability to get it. So
yes, I guess, Josh, that they were not getting Bitcoin straight. No, I mean, they get money from people and they eventually bought it into crypto. I don't think that, come on, 200,000 Bitcoins. It's either it's in hands of people that know, yes, or you just bought them with cash. When
that seems more like it. Yeah.
I don't see so much people with good Bitcoins to give Bitcoins to a Ponzi. No, they buy them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they likely use the existing financial system in China, and that's probably also how they got caught, or they got caught when they were cashing it out, again, probably through the existing financial system. If the really smart ones are the ones we never hear about, the hackers who just get the coins and hold them forever and are just waiting for an anonymity solution or a dark market or whatever, or a sunny day to move those coins. But we just have to wait. Let's move on to predictions or story of the week. Maybe have a new announcement or something going on you want to let the people know about. Josh Gagala, prediction or story of the week.
We've just launched our VIP Telegram group at Vaultoro. It's me. What is the Telegram? t.me/Vaultoro VIP. And you get in there because a lot of the time, sometimes on the market, someone wants to just sell gold and gold goes under spot price. So it's a really good place to buy cheap gold if you're looking to pick up cheap gold. It's probably the cheapest in the world because it's an actual free market. And there's many people that want to grab some good deals. So it's definitely good when Bitcoin's going up to take some profits off the table, and on the way down, sell it back for Bitcoin.
Rodolfo, prediction or story of the week.
Well, story just because of me being in La BitConf and being so near to La BitConf. La BitConf will be very, very special. We have incredible lineup this year. I'm almost getting also, this is not Bitcoin, it's more ETH, but we might even have the main speaker from the ETH world joining. So I'm really excited about the beautiful lined up with Andreas and Bach and Gladstein and well, so many names, McCormack, well, that really, I hope people, I do things not for the money, I do things because I think they're good things to do. and really think that La BitConf is a good thing to do, a very high level content, and I hope people is capable of taking the value from it. And also joining the beer party on Saturday 12th on the moon. Yes, everyone with a spacesuit, and visit the Fiat Museum and stuff like that in the moon.
Yeah, that sounds great. And where can people learn more about La BitConf, and what are the dates? Go ahead.
labitconf.com. It's from the 7th to 11th of December. It's 3 hours. You need to understand which is your time frame or the hour for you. And the party is on Saturday night in Buenos Aires. I don't know, in your country.
All right, that sounds great. I hope everyone checks it out. And I remember from back in the day, I think I watched some great Andreas speeches that came from La BitConf, and it might have even been like 2013, like from earlier and before that. So they were very much
before back. Andreas being Andreas.
There you go. That's the ones I saw, because it had a big Bitcoin on the stage, like the word Bitcoin, and he was up there doing the truth and pacing back and forth, doing his whole thing, and it helped me. Convinced me to get into Bitcoin at that time and so forth. So very cool stuff. Yeah.
I'm really excited about La BitConf this year because usually whenever I've gone, it's been one of the best conferences in the world. Honestly, I'm not just saying that because you're here, Rodolfo. I'm gonna say it's really such a special conference in the hearts of many Bitcoiners, and of course because of Corona. It's gone online, and I'm always like online conferences, but this one is definitely different. Go and check it out, folks, because you'll be surprised at how cool it is. So I think you're not only breaking history with Bitcoin in general, changing the world, but you're changing conferences. I think this is really a lot of conferences are going to look at this and go, wow, I'm going to do the same.
Yes, but we are very, very bad doing communications. I mean, it's like I'm sure, but because I hate saying lies, so I tend not to expand things, not to say things that I don't really believe. Yes, but I really believe that what we are doing, it's very special. Yes, it's really special. It's really interesting, really fun, really well thought. So I just I'm good at that, but at telling people that they should see the good things I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing is, usually you have to, like the last time I traveled, you have to really get on a plane and for hours on end head over to South America, which is a fantastic destination, of course, and it's every time in a different.
But the physical experience, not the physical in the conference, the Labitcoff experience, the whole activities and spirit, I think that's uncomparable.
It definitely is. But this time,
I also know what you're meaning. What you're saying, Rodolfo, with we often don't do things for money around here either. And it feels like we're doing something really historic and worthwhile doing. And you look back at the archives and you feel good because you've been doing it a long time and you've talked to a lot of people, and hopefully people have heard you. And our general message is, we think Bitcoin's good. We think cryptocurrencies are interesting, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's strange in the moment. You don't think it's historic or at all. Like even today, we pulled this show together at the last minute. We didn't just not do it. We want to keep doing it every week. And it's not about, a contract or an advertiser or whatever. We have to do it because we want to do it because these were good issues to talk about. So I think it's really good that you do the conference the same way and that you guys are getting through this struggle with the COVID and managing to do it online this year and that kind of thing. So,
yeah.
Thank you.
It's good stuff. And we just had, I just want to say we had American Thanksgiving here yesterday. It was a really good day to give thanks. I had some great video chats with my family and my Bitcoin friends, and my brother made us Thanksgiving dinner. So thanks to my brother for making dinner, and thanks to everybody for joining us on Thanksgiving. Even if you're not in America, or obviously it's a questionable holiday. It doesn't have a good start with the Pilgrims and the Indians or Native Americans and so on and so forth. But I really like it generally as just family getting together for a meal, people from far apart getting together for a meal. It doesn't have the pressure of Christmas where you have to get gifts or you have to receive gifts and has all that. I just like the meal part, and I kind of missed that this year because we didn't really get together. We wanted to do the right thing for the COVID and not infect people. So we stayed apart. We did the Zoom thing, and it wasn't that bad. It was good stuff. So I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving at home, even if, celebrated or other countries and stuff. I also wanted to highlight this great tweet from Jack Maulers at Jack Maulers on Twitter. Jack works with the Lightning wallet Zap and the LN Strike program that helps you pay for items with Lightning, and you can just use your credit card and they'll handle all the technical stuff. It's really cool stuff. He's a really cool programming kid. And it's funny because I knew about him back in the day because I talked to his mom on Twitter. She's called like Bitcoin Mom or something. And she mentioned her son who was a chess master and he could play speed chess. And he wrote programs about playing chess. And I knew, one day he would kick my ass in chess. But I would look forward to it because I always learn from that. But here's what Jack said about Thanksgiving. I'm just going to read some of it to you guys. As I sit and reflect on Thanksgiving today, I can't help but write and let you all know how truly thankful I am for Bitcoin and this community. As an 18-year-old college dropout, this community accepted me, took me in, and treated me like family. In 2018, I had a near-death experience after I fell from a rusted staircase and suffered 3 brain bleeds and a collapsed lung. I'll never forget awakening from being unconscious to an outpour of uplifting support, gifts, and visitors from this community. This community has always been there for me. You helped raise me, always encouraged me, continuously supported me, and have taught me invaluable life lessons. The relationship that we share is one I can't quite explain, yet I appreciate more than anything, and I owe everything to. Those that think the Bitcoin community is toxic and driven by greed and self-interest are poorly mistaken. Bitcoin is much bigger than some hedge fund, an investment, or a protocol playground. Bitcoin is an idea and a movement that represents a more connected and free world authored by individuals from around the globe that work in unison to push the world in what they hope and truly believe is the right direction. It's been my greatest pleasure to be part of something so much bigger than myself that is delivering so much positive impact on society and that has allowed me to build relationships with such amazing people. I feel I've found my purpose, and I feel at home here. So with all that said, happy Thanksgiving, Bitcoin. You've changed my life and allowed me to be a part of yours. I can't express how thankful I am for you and this community. I love you all more than you could ever know. And the best part, we're just getting started. And in the spirit of the Carnivore thing, I also want to mention his last part. He says, also, turkey is gross. That's just a fact, not my fault. He's got right here a 1.5 ounce or 5 pound dry aged bone in ribeye for Thanksgiving. He's sorry he wasn't raised by the Carnivore crew as a kid. So good stuff here from Jack, and a really nice note to end on about the positive aspects of the Bitcoin community and how sometimes.
Oh, Thomas is gone.
Lost him.
We've lost Thomas right at the end.
I'm glad when I read U.S. comments, yes, on stakes. I'm eating that daily. It's like here in Argentina, that dish is like a starter for us.
Yeah.
Like, I have 4 of those. So it's
okay. Well, now it's like echoing through my microphones and everything. So we're just going to end really quick. It might have come back and worked. I don't know. We had lots of technical problems. Thanks, everybody. Good stuff. Give us a thumbs up and a share. We'll be back again next week. Check out Law BitConf and Voltoro. Thanks to Josh and Rodolfo for joining us. And I think the sound still works. So until next time, bye.
Thanks for inviting. Bye-bye.
Okay.